Namaste. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to class. It's foggy and rainy here in Guatemala, so hopefully the light will hold and the noise. We don't have rain right now, but I do have a tin roof and it gets very noisy, but I'll come to you if that happens. So finding your comfortable seat, making sure you're making contact with the floor. If you have a couple of books or blocks, just in case you need them underneath your knees, just to find a seat for a moment. My feet themselves are supporting my knees. My knees are just completely supported on my feet. All right, tall spine. Make sure you're right on top of your sit bones. So you've created a diamond between pubic bone, tailbone, sit bone, sit bone. And then just letting your palms rest facing down for a moment, containing yourself. Letting the eyes close gently. Without changing it, bringing your attention, your awareness to the breath. Finding it in the belly or the chest. And then deepening it for a couple of nice, deep breaths, whatever that means to you. And then on your next inhale, bringing your hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra, letting your thumbs gently touch your sternum. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga. And with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transforming practice. Ask yourself, what do you need today for self-transformation? Just letting yourself ponder it for a moment. And then letting that thought slip down into your heart to bring it back at the end of class. And then thinking of something, someone, anything that needs your extra attention that you can offer your practice up today for that person, that thing, that whatever is going on that needs extra power. And then let that thought slip down into your heart space. And then join me if you can in an Om, exhaling the breath out and inhaling to chant. Om. And on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. Good, releasing your hands down to your legs. And then just leaning a little bit over to the left side until you feel your right sit bone is about to peel off. Just stay there for a moment. Don't let it peel. Go ahead and support yourself as far out as you need to with your left hand. And then press your right sit bone down further into the floor. Just press it down. Bring the arms up, the right arm up until they are parallel. No, what do you call it? Continuous, how about that? And then flip the palm and reach the arm over. Try to get a diagonal line from your sit bone all the way up through your fingertips. Press into the sit bone. Keep pressing into the left hand. Sit bone is solidly on the ground. Good. Just that diagonal line. No curling, no curving. And then go ahead and take your right hand and bring it to your sacrum. Put the hand on the sacrum. And then begin to open your right shoulder and take your gaze out to the right. Bring your gaze back to the front, just the gaze, keep the shoulder where it is. And then slowly bring the shoulder back. Bend your left elbow, push off and come up. Good. And then lean over to the right until you feel like your left sit bone really wants to peel off. Support yourself with your right hand. Good. And then push into the right hand until you get the left sit bone firmly again on the ground. Good. Then go ahead and raise up. to making a continuous arm. One great T. Press through both fingertips. Good, pressing in. So really pressing into the right hand so the left sit bone stays solid. Good. And then left hand down to your sacrum. And then beginning to open the left shoulder, sternum, and face out to the left. Initially, bring just your face back, front and center. Good. And then release the shoulder gradually. Bring it back. Good. Just reach the arm, bend the elbow, and come back up. Excellent. Let's come into all fours. Good. So we're going to play for a moment here with the hips for a second. So just bringing up your left leg and making some big circles. Look down at the floor for a minute, just so you're not straining your neck. Circles in both directions. Good. And then release the left leg. Recalibrate, recenter. And then the right leg lifts in some nice big circles. And then the other direction. And then release the right leg. Let the body recalibrate. Good. Draw the belly up toward the spine. Keep your belly engaged. Breathe into the ribs. And then as you exhale, we're going to take an arch, tuck the chin into the chest, press the floor away actively with the hands. As you inhale, come back into neutral. Find your low back curve. And then exhale, go in the other direction. And inhale, come back into neutral. Good. One more. Exhale. And inhale, neutral. And exhale, other direction. And inhale, neutral. Great. And then let's take out our left leg all the way to the side. And just abduction. Point the toes toward me. Toes in front of your heel. Good. Just reach the leg out. Excellent. And then go ahead and just walk your arms over a little bit to the right side. And then lift up that left leg. Just lift it up, see where it is. Flex the toes. Good. And then place the foot back down, walk your hands back, get back centered. And bring the left leg back. Good. And then right leg out to the side, abducted. Toes are right in front of the heel. Right in front of the whole foot is facing forward, facing me. Good, press in. And then walk your hands over to the left side. Get solid, pull in your belly, lift the pelvic floor, and then lift the leg. Good, just press in. And then lower the leg, walk the hands back, and then bring the right leg back into neutral. Good. We're going to take the left leg back, right back behind us, press into the ball of the foot, curl the toes under, and press through the heel. Really press through the heel. Good. And then lift the foot just a little. Get it off the ground. Pull in your belly. Pull up through the quadricep. Pull up through the thigh. Good. And then your toes are toward the floor. Your toes are totally toward the floor. Look back, make sure all 5 toes headed to the floor. And then you're going to take your toes and begin to reach them out to the left side and open the leg. It's a little bit off the floor. Good. And then take it back, curl the toes under, press through the heel. Then release the knee down to the floor. Good. Same thing, other side. Right leg reaching back, curl the toes under, press firmly into the ball of the foot. So the heel, you can feel that, help the quadricep engage, front of the thigh. Good. And then lift the leg just a little, not too much. Keep the toes pointed toward the floor. So it's no big lift. It's just down and controlled as a tadasana, as if you were standing in that solid mountain pose. Good. And then begin to take the foot around. Toes are now facing front and center. Reach out, press into the floor. You can look down so you're not straining your neck. And bring the foot back, toes toward the floor. Let the ball of the foot down to the floor again, press through the heel. Good. And then bring both knees down to the floor. Take your hips back to your heels for a moment. Gaze forward. Just gazing forward, long spine. Relax your hips, relax your heels. Toes are spread along the floor, so your feet are your toes were pointed so that they're not curled under. And then walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. So you're using the straightening of your arms to push yourself up. Good, and then come up onto your knees. Good. So left leg externally rotating here for a moment. Go ahead and stretch the foot out and flex the toes up towards you and then bring it back. And make sure you set your heel right underneath your knee. So you can't see your heel, you might see your big toe, but you can't see your heel, you can't see the rest of the foot. Good. Okay, arms up to the side. Great, let's take the arms overhead for a moment. Bring the hands down to the heart. Good, reach out and press the wall away on both sides. Lift up through the pelvic floor, lift up through the groin, lift up through the belly. Good, press the floor, press the walls away, press, press, press. Then release your arms. Good, and then with your left elbow, just place it somewhere along the thigh and take that arc in the spine for a minute. Just reaching the arm over, just a nice arch, opening up the right side. Good, and come back into neutral. Again, press the floor, press the walls away. And then release the arms and bring the leg back. Good. You may need to put something underneath your knees. I just needed to walk back where I have double padding, where I have two mats together. Good, same thing on the other side. We're gonna externally rotate the leg. And then go ahead and straighten the leg, toes toward the ceiling. Straighten the leg for a moment. Press through the heel. Really activate the whole leg, quadricep, hamstrings, everything is activated as you press through. And then bend the knee and place the heel right underneath the knee, right underneath it. And then look and make sure you can't see the heel, that it's hidden by your knee, your thigh, your whole foot is hidden, maybe your big toe knuckle, a slight view of it on the inside of your thigh bone. Good, and then arms out to the side, flip the palms, arms up overhead. Good, hands down to the heart. And then press the walls away. Press, 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 press. Good. Lift up the pelvic floor, pull in the belly. And then slowly bending the right elbow, just placing it. Flip the palm of the left arm and just reaching up an arch. So really compressing the ribs on the right side and opening the ribs on the left side. Get a nice C curve. Breathe. Keep the belly in, breathing in the chest. Maybe breathing right now right into those left ribs, down low, where you've got lots of space. Good. And then exhale and push off. Press the wall away. Press, press, lift the pelvic floor, pull in the belly. Good. And then release the arms and then bring the leg back. Excellent. Okay. And then come back and curl the toes under and sit on your heels for just a moment. Just sitting up nice and tall. Toes are curled under, putting a little bit of pressure on the ball of the foot on the toes. Go ahead and put your thumbs into the crease right here so you can feel how those tendons for your quadriceps engage. Maybe feel really tight, maybe feel strong. Just see what it feels like there. And then press your thumbs into that as you come up. Good. Lift the pelvic floor. Keep pressing your thumbs in, just like to keep it stable. So you're helping to stabilize it with your thumbs. And slowly, with your thumbs still pressing in, take the hips back to the heels, thumbs still pressing in. You lean forward usually to do that, and then bring your spine upright. Notice how those tendons Move and wiggle. Good. Great. And then we're coming back up to kneeling. And we're going to take our left foot out in front this time. So go ahead and roll out your right foot. Roll it all the way out or keep the toes curled under, whichever gives you the most momentum on that, where you're really solid. And then bring your left foot out. Good. So no real back bend here, just the spine is long. We have the leg at a right angle out in front of us. Maybe I'll do it to the side. Okay. So not really a back bend. Take the arms up overhead. Pull in the pelvic floor. Pull in the belly. Roll the shoulders down. Lots of space between the tops of the shoulders and the ears. The arms are reaching up, but the shoulders are moving down toward the hips. Good, and then go ahead and bring your hands to the top of your left thigh, right before the knee. Good, and then we're gonna lean over and just place our forearms right above the knee. Good, and then your back leg, curl the toes under and press back. Good, press through the heel, get really long. And then start to straighten the left leg, not all the way to straighten, just straighten it until you feel it's challenging your balance, just a little bit of trying to straighten. We don't want to straighten it. And then come back, place the right knee on the floor. Come back with your hands at the knee. Good, and then release. And then same thing on the other side. So right leg up, right angle. Good, nice strong right angle. Excellent. And then placing your hands there. So feeling that you're nice and solid. Good. And then lean forward, placing your forearms above your knee. Let your head be an extension of your spine. So you may be looking at me, but make sure you're not throwing your head back. So keep your head long. Keep your neck long. Curl the left toes under. Press through the left heel. Press back through the ball of the foot, through the heel, and then slowly begin to straighten the right leg. Don't straighten it all the way, just trying to find where that point of balance and equilibrium is. Coming back. Coming up. Coming back. Good, and then going down to your left knee, put your right hands again above the right knee. And then press back up. Good. And then release the leg. Excellent. Hips back to heels one more time. Really pressing into the ball of the foot so you can feel the toes curled under. Really working the toes and the foot. And then from here, we're going to go to a squat. So just go ahead and place your hands down on the floor somewhere. And then curl the toes under. And either come to a squat where you're up on the ball of the foot or a squat where you're down in the whole foot. So wherever you want to squat for a moment. This kind of assures the belly is pulled in. Good. And then go ahead and come halfway up. Get halfway up with your tailbone reaching back behind you, your spine long. Put your hands right above the knees. Glue your elbows close to your ribs. Glue them right on them if you'd like. And then exhale and push off. Coming up. Good. And then let's come to the front of our mat for a moment. So coming to the front of your mat. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, left leg reaches back. So flag pose. So get it back where you feel like you can divide the weight. Front body, back body, side, side. Don't let your right knee travel. And keep your left heel up. So don't roll the foot down. Heel is off the floor and up. Good. Go ahead and take your arms back behind. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the knuckles. That'll bring you out of the back bend a little. Just roll your shoulder blades onto the floor. Onto the back. pull in the belly. And then let's add the back bend. So hands are reaching down as we begin to arch in the spine, sternum lifting a little bit toward the ceiling. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, just step the left foot forward and release the arms. Good. Excellent. Stabilize. Breathe. And then we're going to step the right foot back. Good. So stepping the right foot back, right heel is up. Find out where you're comfortable here. Front, back, side, side. Balance your weight in between everything. Pelvic floor is lifted, belly is in. And then take the arms back behind you, squeeze the knuckles, reach the knuckles down, but take out the back bend. So leaning forward a little bit. Just leaning forward. Stabilize there first. And then slowly begin to peel off, starting to show the sternum toward the wall in front of you, and then a little bit toward the ceiling as you reach your arms down closer to the floor. You can bring your gaze back into neutral. And then you're going to step forward on an exhale as you release your arms. Good. Nice and solid there. Excellent. So let's step nice and wide. And we're going to do a twist here. And you may want your block, or even a chair to go on. So leaning forward and trying to get your spine parallel to the floor as much as it can be, or at least in a long line with all of its natural curves. Press your heels into the floor, sides of the foot into the floor. Go ahead and lift the toes. Engage the toes. Toes are lifted. That really helps us to spread the weight throughout the foot. And then keeping your left hand underneath your sternum on your block on the floor on a chair. Our right arm, just let it hang like a pendulum for a minute. Swing it back and forth. And the next time, swing it up to parallel and let it go. Parallel to the floor. A few more times. Hold it. Press into the left arm and then reach the whole right arm and shoulder open to the right side. Lift your toes. That'll keep your hips and feet and legs stable. Let your head be an extension of your spine. And then slowly release it. Good. Coming into neutral. Holding on to the block or the chair or putting it on the floor, both sides neutral first. And then right hand on the block. And then like a pendulum, just let the left arm swing for a little bit. Just opening up and letting the shoulders swing. And then this time swing and hold to parallel. Release and hold to parallel. Release, hold to parallel. One more time. And hold to parallel. Lift the toes, really work into the feet and the legs. Make sure your heels are out behind your second and third toe. Heels are not in at all. And then pressing into the right arm, begin to open the left arm. Pressing in, pressing, 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 pressing. Lift the toes. Hard work. Keep the head as an extension of the spine. Don't let your head drop or droop. Good. And then on your next exhale, just release it slowly. And then put both hands again on the block. Press through the tailbone. Lift up the belly. Keep your toes engaged. Good. And then let's heel, toe, heel. Bring your hands to above the knees. Good. And just let your hips sink down for a moment, just a little. And your knees and your feet your knees and your toes are headed in the same direction. So knees and toes. So you can wiggle your toes out a little if you need them to get underneath your knees, your ankles underneath the knees. Good. Take an inhale and then exhale out. Good. And then bring the toes together, heels together, until you get comfortable to step together. Find your Tadasana and rest for a moment. Good. And then letting your eyes flutter open. So I want to work for a little bit with pyramid pose, okay? Because a successful pyramid pose is a successful reversed triangle. So let's go ahead and open to the side again. Open, put your body toward the side, long into the mat this way. Step back with your left leg. Good. So getting nice and balanced there. Now I want to see about lowering your left heel. But if I lower my left heel here, there's too much pressure and I open my groin, okay? My groin opens and now my belly button that was front and center, which is where I really want it to stay, now goes out with that external rotation. So I want to keep the belly button front and center. So I need to step my foot out a little. And then my belly button does stay front and center. And my foot is on the floor at about a 45-degree angle. Right now, my right leg is gently bent, but I'm going to straighten the right leg and lift up, okay? So let's try those things all together, okay? So you're at the front of your mat. Step back with your left foot. Walk the left leg out a little, and then drop in your heel. Make sure you stay front and center. Make sure your knee's not torqued. Look down, knee, and knees headed right out over your second and third toe. You can barely see your big toe in the middle. Take the time to get that movement, otherwise you'll torque your knee. And then lift up through the body. Good. And then coming over into parallel to the floor. Both feet and legs are engaged. Both knees are engaged but not locked. You can just interlace your hands behind you and rest them on your bottom. So finding that long spine. Then go ahead and bend your right knee and reach forward with your crown of the head. Reach forward with the crown of the head. Reach back with your arms. Forward with the crown of the head. Back with the arms. Then rest your arms again. And then begin to straighten your right leg. Then seeing about a little surrender. If you have glaucoma or eye pressure problems, please just look forward. Good. And then peeling off the gaze, looking forward, draw yourself up nice and slowly. Come up slowly, slowly, slowly. Good. Release the arms. And then go ahead and realign your back heel up toward the ceiling. Take a little hop toward the front and recalibrate in your mountain pose. Tadasana. Many mountains in Sanskrit. Okay, let's step back with our right foot. So initially, heel is up, and it's just like on railroad tracks, but I would fall off the train track completely if I were to keep my heel and just drop it down into external rotation, and I would torque my knee. So I'm going to make the conscious decision, belly buttons front and center, to walk out my right leg a little, place the heel down, and keep my belly. So then when I look and I bend my knee, it's headed out and hiding my second and third toe. So I know that leg is safe, and then I straighten the leg and realign. You can bend your left knee as much as you'd like for a moment. Good. So just finding that space where you feel that you haven't compromised. We're not turning this way. We're turning front and forward, but your knee isn't compromised or your ankle. Just find it where you will. Take the arms back behind. Just relax the arms for a moment. Good. Begin to straighten the left leg and come forward into parallel. Just as parallel as you can, as much as you want. You can lift the toes on the front foot That'll help keep the leg engaged, keep the ankle safe. Either looking forward or allowing yourself to surrender a little with the upper body. Low back is staying normal, and you're letting your upper spine, your ribs, your neck curl. And then beginning to look forward, looking out. Knee can be bent. Straighten the front leg again for just a moment. Bend the knee. Release the arms. Take the back heel back up to the sky. Good. Take an inhale and then exhale. Come forward. Good. Excellent. Find your Tadasana and take 6 or 8 breaths. Relaxing into the body, feeling softness in the body, the breath, the mind. Good, and then on your next inhale, letting the eyes open. Good. So I want you to be thinking about reversed triangle pose. So reverse triangle pose is simply that same stance that we just did with reaching forward. And I'm going to use a block here, just reaching forward and opening with a twist. And that is our reverse triangle. So we get here first, okay? So this time come to the back of your mat, to the very back of your mat. If you have a block, grab it, hold on to it. We're going to step our left foot forward. Good. Plant our right heel down, keeping it where you're stable and you stay to the front, and then straighten your left leg. Good. Right at that hinge where we had our thumbs earlier, we're coming over, and I'm placing my right hand underneath my right shoulder, and then I'm letting my left arm hang like a pendulum, and then I'm taking the left arm back, parallel to the spine, and then opening the left shoulder and arm and reaching up. Pressing into the right hand fully. Go ahead and continue bringing the left arm all the way over, cartwheeling it over. Release the shoulder, just let it hang for a moment. Bend the left knee slightly. Take your block with you as you exhale and go up. Good. And go ahead and step forward. It's a little easier. And then go back. Hold on to your block. Good. And then slowly beginning to step right leg forward. Heel up initially on your back heel. Back heel starts up. Then place the leg so that it's comfortable and you stay front and center. If you go the least bit out, then you're going to torque your low back when you try to add a twist. We have to stay front and center, and the twist has to happen in our rib cage, no lower, in our rib cage. Good, I'm going to start to straighten the right leg, and then placing my left hand on the block underneath my left shoulder. I am parallel to the floor as much as I possibly can be, and I'm going to let my right arm just hang. And then I'm going to engage the right shoulder, pulling the shoulder blade firmly onto the back, and then swinging the right arm back, parallel to the spine, and then up, pressing into the left hand, finding the twist, opening to the right. Continue with the arm all the way over, all the way over, all the way over. Back to parallel, just letting the arm hang. Take your block with you. When you exhale, bend the knee slightly and then go up. Excellent. And a little step forward. Great. And then back to the back of your mat. If you've got your block, just hold on to it. Good. We're going to go back to our squat. Coming back down slowly. So slowly finding your way back down to your squat. And just enjoy the squat for a moment. If you've got your block and you want, you can put it right underneath you and just sit back on your block, letting your legs come up, just wherever you're comfortable. If you're on your block, bring your spine tall. If you're not on your back and your spine is low and heavy, so wherever you are is perfect, but there is a difference in how the spine is. The spine is slightly C-curved forward if I don't have my block. The spine is tall if I have the block. Then let's open it. Nice big opening to the right. And coming back into neutral. And then a nice big opening twist only in the thoracic spine, only where you have ribs. Over to the left. And back into neutral. Good. One more time, either side. Open. Back into neutral. And open. And back into neutral. Good. And then help yourself have a seat slowly, putting the bottom down on the ground, sitting up on top of your sit bones. Extend the legs out in front into Dandasana, toes facing the ceiling. You may need to move the flesh off to get your sit bones making contact with the floor. Sitting up tall. Legs are active, upper body is tall, but relaxing the shoulders down toward the hips. Ears are right over the shoulders. Keep the feet flexed, working the legs, working the knees. Do not take your heels off the floor. That means hyperextension in the knee joint, and you will pay for it later. Good. One more breath. And then relax your legs. Just let them go for a minute. You really worked your quads today. So reach in to the whole of the thigh. Dig in because you've got one quad hiding under the middle one. Okay, so just reaching in, giving a little bit of massage over to the right quad. Good. And then the left one. Just reach in with your thumbs and your fingers and massage the muscles. And then where you may not have known, but you were giving a lot of effort, is take your knuckles and go right into the tensor fascia lata, underneath your IT band, your iliotibial band. So just right at the greater trochanter of the thigh, just reach in with that, go all the way down the sides of your legs. Good. And then bend your knees, put your feet firmly on the floor. And then working with your gastrocnemius for a moment, your calf muscles. So just reach in and strum through them like they were guitar strings. Hopefully they're not stringy, but as if they were, just strum through the whole from the soleus up to the gastrocnemius, all the way through. Yeah, good, excellent. And then soles of the feet together, knees apart for just a moment. Notice your groin muscles, just noticing where they are, how they feel. Don't press your knees down further than they go all by themselves. Lift your toes apart, pull your toes apart, balls of the feet touching. Good. And then let's try our toe thing. Put your hands up first. So little toes together, pinky fingers. Ring finger, next toe. Middle finger, middle toe. Index finger, index toe. Thumbs, big toes. And now you have all your fingers together and all your toes together. And let's peel them apart one by one. Toes, let's do the hands first. All right, thumbs and toes. Index finger, index toe. Middle finger, middle toe. Ring finger, ring toe. And pinky finger, pinky toe. Good. Press it into the ball of the foot. Have nice big arches there. Good. Pressing into the palms, pressing into the ball of the foot and the heel. Great, and then bring the knees together with your hands and arms. Push the knees together, wrap your arms around them and squeeze them as you relax the groin. Try to relax everything in the groin area. Relaxing. We're going to head down to the floor and you're going to have a couple of minutes of an inversion. If you're inverting, so if you're on your menstrual cycle or you have glaucoma, eye pressure problems, uncontrolled blood pressure, you're not to invert, okay? So you are going to just put your bottom on the floor and your legs up a wall or on a chair or somewhere like that. That's perfect for anyone who cannot invert. If you're inverting and you want a simple inversion, you can do the same. Just put your block underneath your hips. Raise your hips higher than your throat, okay? And if you want to come all the way up into Viparita Karani Mudra supported, or you're welcome to take your hips up with your hands, either into Viparita Karani Mudra or even shoulder stand. You decide, it's your practice, tailor it to yourself, and inversion for 2 minutes. Check in with your jaw. You don't really need it to do your inversion. Soften the space between your lips. One more minute. Anything else you could possibly relax? Anything to release and let go? Peeling off unnecessary muscular energy and focusing where you need that muscular energy. And then slowly beginning your transition out of your inversion. If you need a counter pose, take it, take the time. And then finding yourself in Shavasana, corpse pose. So just letting go. Palms are facing the ceiling. Arms and legs can be spread off of your mat if it's warm enough. Don't feel trapped by the mat. Check in and relax your jaw. Soften the tongue. Soften the eyes and the sockets. Feeling the floor ready to receive you as you melt into the floor. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness into the breath, noticing the rise and the fall of your belly or your chest. Letting your eyes roll in the sockets, moving your tongue in the mouth, wriggling your nose, wiggling your ears, swimming the fingers and the toes. And then considering a nice overhead stretch. And then shrinking your way into embryo pose. Just slowly making your way over onto one side, curled up, all safe and secure in a C curve of the spine. Tuck the chin into the chest. Draw the knees in, elbows in. Every practice, that little taste of death in Shavasana. And then this new beginnings in embryo, where we have every possibility in the world. Slowly and gently, using the hand of the upper arm, begin to press the floor away. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Letting it be the last thing that stacks right on the spine. As you come up, just relaxing body, breath, and mind. Just letting go for a few more moments. Moving into our pranayama for the morning. Moving into our control of the breath. We're going to just even it out. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts hold. And when I say hold, think instead pause. Just letting the breath suspend for a moment. No locks, no anything. Just pausing the breath on the inhale and pausing the breath on the exhale. Spine is tall and erect. Your shoulders are soft. Shoulder blades are smoothing down toward the hips. Lots of space between your ears and your shoulders. Sit bones firmly on the floor. Lift the pelvic floor for a moment. Lift your belly for a moment. And then consciously soften a little bit into both areas. Just a little bit engaged, but not tense. Just noticing your breath where it is for a moment. Your eyes can close or take a soft gaze toward the floor. Just noticing the breath, the quality coming into the nostrils, the difference in temperature going out of the nostrils. And then we'll begin our count, and I'll count slowly. And this is pranayama, which means controlling the breath. So you will have to control it. But when you get to the pause, just suspend what you're doing. And you may have to breathe in a little more quickly and breathe out a little more quickly to conform to the count. Okay? All of us starting together with an exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Natural breath. Falling back into your natural rhythm and just noticing. Letting the eyes stay closed. Noticing the quality of the mind. Notice where the breath goes into the body. We're transitioning right into our meditation, so making as little adjustments as possible. Being as still as you can be, still body, still mind. Noticing again the temperature of the breath. Coming into the nostrils cooler, going out of the nostrils warm. No controlling of the breath at all. Just letting the universe breathe you. Soften your belly, letting the diaphragm drop down into that space if it wants. Muscles are soft all over the body, the spine erect. Soften your shoulders, your jaw, your hips, your legs, your arms, your hands, your feet. Keeping your mind focused on the breath. Entering the body, leaving the body. No control. Resting your tongue in the bottom of the mouth. Letting your eyes float in the sockets. Letting your lips part slightly as you relax the jaw. Just noticing the quality of the breath. Imagine everything in the world around you, exchanging oxygen and CO2. You breathing the universe and the universe breathing. Notice the softness of the breath. Following the breath and the oxygen exchange into the far extremities, the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes. Prana, nourishing your whole body. Prana, nourishing the mind. flowing with the breath. Notice where the mind goes. Bring it back softly, gently. No judgment. Again, notice where the mind goes. Bring it back. Gently, softly. Letting the breath get a little bit longer, a little bit deeper. Keeping with the quality of the breath. Slowly and gently, longer breaths, conscious breaths. Bringing yourself out of the meditation. Letting the awareness of the breath go to the back. Bringing your hands into the heart, Anjali. Letting your head bow slightly, lengthening the back of the neck. Any merit we may have earned this morning in our diligent practice of yoga, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Take a moment and remember your intention, remember your offering, fully present with those two thoughts for a moment. And then letting those thoughts slip back again out of your mind, down into your heart, from your heart into the very palms of your hands, and then slowly lift them up. Lift up and let go off into the universe, bringing the hands slowly and gently back. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Okay, I'm coming to you. I'll be right there. Good morning, everyone. Let me get it fixed so that you can talk and I can see. You're so welcome, Nayana. So nice to have you here. Let me get the view so now you all can. Okay. Hi, Maggie, you made it. All right, sister. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So it's so nice to have you here. And Sylvia and Surya and Patti and those of you who got Wendy that made a 6 a.m. class, I am impressed. Jean, all of you 6A, Jana, Ashok, yeah, pretty amazing. So all of you Californians, Mary, thank you for joining. Nayana, for getting up and doing a 6 a.m. I really appreciate your loyalty. I'm so impressed. I'm Manipa also. I'm just totally impressed. So those of us here in Guatemala, it makes us feel like, oh, they got up at, woo. It's so nice. So yeah, we've changed. The Thursday class is the same for all of us, but the Tuesday class, Maggie, is at 9 a.m. because I let that be at the regular hour for Californians, and then I switched it to here for us. So they have to switch theirs on Thursdays, and we have to switch ours on Tuesdays. I thought that was as good as I could get. Hi, Mary, nice to see you. So how was that for you working on reverse triangle? I really wish I had like an hour and a half class to work on that because it is such an integral part of really finding that base, that stable bottom part of the body, the inferior part of the body that's called, where the superior part of the body just opens and feels that whole flexibility that you can get into the heart, into the rib cage and that whole area. So I think it's a pose that deserves a lot of attention, and it does deserve a lot of warm up. And I don't feel like I gave you enough. I gave you enough to get by, but not a lot more. How was it for you to realize that you could step your foot out a little bit and that wouldn't torque your leg or knee when you're doing that? Was that helpful?
Perfect.
Good. Because a lot of we'll have that habit of just dropping the heel in and then headed forward. So that means we've already started with our hips headed out to the wrong side for where we need them. We need the hips front and center so that we've just got a stable base for that twist to come off of, right? So if we've just got a little bit of a belly button over to the left side, then when we try to twist to the right, we really screw up our low back. So hopefully nobody's low back felt anything. You kept it all in your thoracic spine. Good.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. It's really nice to have you back, Maggie. We missed you. I know you're super busy. I see all the Facebook posts and, you know, thank God for small favors, but I'm glad you're back.
Thank you, Ginger. I was going to ask you about I have problems with my wrists, and they hurt a lot when I'm not warming out before or a lot. So what I do is sometimes just like push like this. Is this okay?
It's okay to do the fist. Yes, that's fine. But you need to work with your wrists, and Maggie, you got the Mahanarayana oil, right?
Yes.
So you're not doing it twice a day every day. I can tell you're not.
No.
So and
once every night I do.
Well, try to do it in the morning after you showered, because after you shower, but warm it like you do at night. Just put it in that little thing of hot water for a minute and just put it right into your wrist, and then do just a little bit of wrist circles and wear that through. You know, you can do like infinity or anything, but do something twice a day. Yeah. Thank you, Jean. So nice to see you. Yeah, I mean, and we have to work with that like every 12 hours. We really have to kind of like keep the oil going when we have that kind of extremity problem. And but when something heads out into your joints, that's not a good sign, right? That means that you want to bring it back into your digestive system. You want to really be careful with that. So when we start to get joint pain, I was 29 when I had a complete hysterectomy for cervical cancer. And thank God it all left and I was fine, right? But I had a complete hysterectomy, which sent me into a hormone spin because I had to lose an ovary too, and I'd already lost one ovary with an ectopic pregnancy. So anyway, long story short, all of a sudden I had every symptom of rheumatoid arthritis, because you don't put a 29-year-old into menopause without big problems, right? So I felt like my hands were red and swollen. My wrist was killing me. Everything was hurting, right? So I realized that immunity itself is so dependent upon your whole body in harmony, really in harmony. And now I know Ayurvedically that when you get sick, the first thing that starts to show it is your digestive system, and you can see it on your tongue. Your tongue is either pretty and pink and nice, or your tongue gets a white coating or a yellow coating or a brown coating or sometimes a greenish coating. And that tells us practitioners that you need to clean out your system. You need to really do a little bit of cleansing into that area. But it also tells us that it's in your digestive tract. When somebody has been suffering for a long time from really bad articulaciones, when that pain in the joints is really bad and has been bad for a while, then usually it's been in the digestive tract and gone out already. It's gone out and settled in the weak parts of the body, right? It took me, I guess, maybe a year or two back then, and I didn't know Ayurveda, but I did go to a naturopath and who put me on a very strict diet and worked with me to get clean, right? And helped me. Eventually it just went away, which is what would happen in Ayurveda too. Eventually it would just go away because you've cleaned up everything else in the area. But joint pain usually it's vata always. It's the movement of vata. But if it's got inflammation, then it's also pitta. If it's got, like a lot of arthritis, it's often kapha, right? So it can be complicated. But just know that we have to start cleaning up our digestion first. That's where digestion is key to joint pain. And I know that sounds so silly, but when you think about it, the only thing we have to make our body strong and solid and stable is what we're putting in our mouth and in our vision and in our hearing, right? And bringing in through our senses. So, you watch a lot of violence, you're around a lot of violence, you pull that in and it settles, and it also creates.
Thank you, Ginger.
Yeah.
I have to change a lot in my diet.
Well, I mean, growing up Italian and thinking tomatoes it was impossible to have a meal without a tomato, not a day without a tomato. It was impossible to have a meal without a tomato. And then being here in Guatemala, where salsitas y chimolitos y all of that, and I don't have tomatoes. I'll buy half a pound of tomatoes and they'll last me 2 weeks in the fridge, because I just need a little color in my bean soup. So I'll take half a tomato and chop it up into my white bean soup, because it just isn't a white bean Italian soup without a tiny bit of tomato. But, I don't eat tomato sauce. I don't eat, there's a lot of stuff that I just don't eat anymore. No coffee. I haven't had coffee in years. But those are inflammatory things. And I say that because tomatoes are one of the worst inflammatory things. Coffee is one of the worst inflammatory things. Alcohol is one of the worst inflammatory things. And so, you have to decide what do you want. My daddy would say, I'd rather die happy and go out with pain. So you have to make your choices, right? I told Daddy that he'd feel better, and he's like, hell with that. I'd rather die just like I am. So we all make our choices, and he did. Yeah.
If anyone is interested, I found that tomato sauce that allowed me to do zucchini lasagna. So I will send it to you and or post it the next class.
Yeah, that would be great, Sylvia. Please do. That would be fabulous. Yeah, I don't eat cheese or dairy anymore either. I do a chai from the restaurant. I stop by there and get a chai with whole milk that's from the cows that drop off the milk every morning at 4:30. So there's nothing like that milk, and I can do that milk, especially during the day. But yeah, but I feel good. That's what's so amazing, right? I can remember back when I went in my 29, 30, 31, where I thought I might die because I felt so bad every day. I woke up every day, my joints hurt, I ached, I couldn't even walk to the bathroom first thing in the morning because my everything was killing me, right? And now here I am 7-0 and I feel great. But I know it's because I'm eating what I need to eat and doing that, you know. Maggie, it's funny, all the way during I went to the doctor to get my gynecological checkup in the city, and I lost 15 pounds. I was quite surprised, except I wasn't as surprised because I had to wear clothes that day instead of yoga clothes. And I realized that there's quite a bit of room in these breeches. But I realized the reason I had lost 15 pounds was because I'm not snacking. I don't have any snacks. I make each meal and that's it. There's no going to the kitchen. There's no even looking at anything. I just have those 3 meals. My last meal is at 6 p.m. period. I don't eat another thing after that. I go to bed a little hungry by 9:30, and it keeps my digestion at a maximum. So, and I'm one of those people that, you know, you would ask me how often I had a bowel movement. I would go, well, I don't remember. It wasn't like something regular. I wasn't one of the people like one of my sons who could say every single morning at 6 a.m. I wake up and have a bowel movement. It wasn't that, you know. So, and now it is. So that also tells me that my system is working better when things are regular and you have a regular schedule and you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time. You go to bed at the same time. You eat foods that are nourishing and really nourish you completely. That's what we all need to baby ourselves. Don't feed yourself anything you wouldn't give a 2-year-old. Because you are 2-year-olds still inside. You need to nourish yourself with what you would give a 2-year-old. You would want that 2-year-old to be happy. You wouldn't give them a Hershey bar. You'd give them a piece of fruit. You wouldn't give them fried nuggets. You know, you would give them some beans and rice. You know, you would make things really healthy for that 2-year-old that you're trying to raise. So you still have that 2-year-old inside you. So start treating yourself like a 2-year-old. Okay, well, it's wonderful hanging out with you. I'm still really impressed that my Californians did a 6 a.m. I really love you for it. And maybe you'll decide you like that for the rest of the week, and you'll get up and you'll have plenty of time for your practice, and your day will seem longer and you'll feel really nice and tired in the night. Wouldn't that be delicious? Yeah. Okay, everybody, so much love. Sylvia, did you get a haircut? Did you get a haircut? It's just pulled back. Okay, well, it looks fabulous. So now I know you look great in short hair like this. Okay, everybody, much love. Have a great, great weekend and everything. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
Tuesday at 9?
Tuesday at 9? Tuesday at 9.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.